Tabor is very similar yet vastly different than Escape from Tarkov. It's unforgiving and things can escalate quickly out of control if you're not prepared. This is 10 tips to help you survive raids. Plan your raids. Before you enter into a raid, take some time to plan your objectives and what you're trying to achieve in that raid, whether it be player kills, low profile loot runs, completing missions. It's important to know what you plan on doing when you go in, and your gear should also reflect that. Keep a low profile. Noise is a really big factor in Tabor. I'd recommend reaching your hand to your mouth and pressing the X button to mute your in-game mic. Also avoid unnecessary gunfire and any noise that is going to draw attention to yourself. You do need to be a ghost after all. Be patient. Don't rush gunfights. I think this is the biggest thing I see new players doing in Tabor. This is unlike Contractors or other VR first-person shooters or Call of Duty for those of you that may be flat screen, but considering a VR. Making sure that you know all of your options in a gunfight and taking advantage of those will help ensure that you actually win more of those gunfights. Gear fear. It's extremely common in games like Tarkov and other hardcore looter shooters that gear fear happens to the best of us. Luckily, Tabor is really difficult and gear does matter. However, it is fairly easy to bounce back from a few poor raids in a row. Subscribe to Joshy. It's not a tip, but I am going to be shifting content over to covering more Tabor, as it's really the only VR game right now that I'm like utterly addicted to. So if you're looking for a place where you can get everything Tabor related content, hit the subscribe button. But we'll move into another real tip. Managing your inventory. There are a lot of things you can find in Raid, and your backpack is rather small. Starting out, I would take the gun of your choice, 2 ammo pouches for your chest rig. You can purchase these in the market, and your backpack. In your backpack, I would consider taking 1 to 2 healing items, especially in the beginning, because you're going to be taking damage from NPCs or scavs, as well as other players. Just being new, it kind of happens. And I would take maybe 1 spare mag, other than the 2 that are on your chest rig, and leave the rest for loot space. In a later video, I will cover what you should take in a raid and what you should probably leave behind. Practicing gun mechanics. This is a really big one in Tabor that is unlike any other shooter, both in VR and flat screen. The guns in Tabor are realistic and reload realistically. If you are unsure of how like an MP40 reloads in real life, you need to figure that out in Tabor and practice reloading that weapon in your bunker. Be alert of your surroundings. Much like tip 2 and 3, you can flip this to your advantage. Listen and watch for signs of player activity, such as open doors, looted containers, people baiting you with gear. Also listen for people talking to each other. Oftentimes when people squad up together, they're not in Discord, they're just talking via in-game chat. Super easy to pick up on that. Managing your health. Healing syringes heal over time, so much like morphine in real life takes time to kick in, the syringes take time to kick in. I would ideally, as I said, bring 1 to 2 into raid with you. However, they are somewhat easy to find, especially in silo, so you can always use more if you find them in raid. There is a bleed effect that happens when you take damage, so if you get hit in raid, ideally I would check your health on your wrist computer and toss a heal stim on. Don't be greedy. There comes a time where it is time to extract. In Tabor, the inventory system is based on how you arrange items in your backpack. You can quickly fill your backpack up if you don't manage things in there correctly. However, spending a bunch of time in raids squeezing everything that you possibly can, like a game of Tetris, will end up getting you killed. It's careful to balance not lingering in one spot for too long. You need to get in and get out, because it's better to get out alive with a few things in your backpack than lose it all being a loot goblin. So that was the 10 basic tips for Ghosts of Tabor. Comment down below what you want to see me cover next, as shifting to covering Tabor content is really open to what the viewers want to see. And good luck. I'll see you guys on the islands of Tabor.